Hello and welcome to a little bit of a fireside chat with Stoop Kids and our fantastic guest, Emily Chambers. Now, now for context, Emily, fireside chat was something that our president FDR used to do back in the 30s during the Great Depression. And he used to go on the radio every night and speak to the nation to help build comfort amongst
Thanks.
the
You're
nation.
just saying this to me because I'm Canadian, right? You're just giving me the.
I'm saying to you because you're stupid and you don't know stuff.
I know that either.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that either?
I didn't know
Oh
that.
boy. It is weird how much American history I know that other kids don't know. The point is that this is not quite Stoop Life, but I'd like to say it's a little bit cozier. Now, today we're talking about the new single that we're dropping called Cicadas. Now, the reason we have these two people in front of me is because they're the two masterminds behind this track. One being Griffin Dean over here.
Hey.
There he is. And then the other one being, as we said before, Emily Chambers. Now, you guys started working together. When did you guys start recording songs together? Just like the two of you. Was that in 2019?
It was like right before I left, like right before pandemic, right, Griff?
Yeah, it was like 2020. Yeah, pandemic.
So like early, like January, February.
I think it might have been early 2020, and like our first write was Too Much.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. So yeah, because you guys started working that with nothing really in mind as far as like direction, right?
No.
It was just, hey, let's make a track together. And I think it was, and I think we talked about it on the episode where we discussed that song, where it was kind of like you took a lot of her ad libs in between things and made it into a verse. Is that correct?
Yeah, we definitely, I don't know, just wanted the takes kind of just like, it's like, just let loose and be chill for a second. And then like listening back, and I was like, wait, this is actually gold. Like Emily just riffing essentially in a very like calm manner. And that, I think that ended up being like half the verses, honestly, was just like those ad libs.
I don't even think we would put it out, but Griffin like turned it into something cool.
Yeah, and that was my next question. Emily was like, how is Griffin's not just co-writing style but production style compared to what you had been working with before with your like solo stuff?
Yeah, I think it took Griff and I so long to even write together because I don't know if we would have like, I didn't know if our styles would mesh that well. And then I was like very pleasantly surprised when we did our first write, and it was like super neo soul R&B kind of chill vibes. And he like, I really like working with Griffin. He brings out he gives me a lot of direction, like tonally and for my voice and stuff, and brings out a lot of like softer, chiller sides of me where like I'm holding back a lot vocally, but getting more sort of tone and stuff across. So I think we were both pretty open. I feel like I didn't know we can get a little hot-headed, the two of us together. So.
You too?
Yeah. No, it's a little back and forth.
Yeah, I mean,
but no, it's been awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I noticed because I was living with Griffin at the time, and he showed me the track, and I was like, this is very different because you and Emily had been playing together for like 2 years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, we were doing a lot of cover gigs, but even your other stuff, it was belty, it was power, it was a lot of energy, and then this was definitely more reserved, more delicate, you know. And I thought it was great. And now I don't remember how it too much turned into a Stoop Kids song. I don't remember how we got there, but I assume it was just, hey, we like this. And then Stoop Kids also had nothing in the works at the time, so we were like, you know what? This is ours now. And we just
like, how does anything become a Stoop Kids song? You just throw a rap verse on it from Griffin and some Barry sax.
Okay, it is more complicated than that. And
you forgot about Sam.
Okay.
I also didn't play bass on that one though.
That's true. You did play some key things that never really.
Like, I made a string arrangement and it never made it.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
I'll take
Fuck it. We'll do it live. like my first Stoop Kid show where I played cello. Now,
good stuff.
Okay, so you guys, did we put that out later that year? Is that when did Too Much even come out?
Like,
yeah, it came out in 2020 or maybe even 2021.
Right. And then meanwhile, so we were working on that. Now, when did you guys start working on stuff again together?
Emily called me at some point, early pandemic, and was like, hey, like, we're not doing anything. Just want to kind of start working on some like beats and songs and sending stuff back and forth over email. And it was like kind of just the perfect time. I think we both like got really into it and just started crafting a lot of different songs and just seeing what happened. But definitely like early pandemic, we started writing.
Yeah, I remember being in like that apartment in like July 2020 and sending you just like keyboard ideas and like little loopy stuff. And then, like so many just voice notes back and forth and ideas back and forth. And then we ended up having like 15 songs or something by the end of 2 years.
Well, it was a different situation than I'd ever seen because it was, you would send him a voice note from your phone and then he would just start poking and prodding at it just from that and putting it on the computer and then adding a beat to it.
Griffin would make a track for my out of time voice note sent over.
Looking back, I don't know if that was the best decision, but it definitely led to some interesting results, I feel like. And it focused a lot of things. Like, this has to be a vibe first.
We got vibey.
Yeah.
You guys got real vibey, and I don't think anybody's going to blame you for it because it was a vibey time, all we really could do was vibe.
Yeah.
You could say.
Yeah, it's definitely the meat of the quarantining time.
Right.
Yeah.
It was nice to have something to focus on because I was a sad chick, which Griffin loved.
Yeah, that's his bread and butter, baby.
Give me that, girl. I don't want this like peppiness.
No energy. No. It was weird when anybody put out like a somewhat high energy song during the pandemic, even though it was a good time to put out music. It was just like, that's weird. Like, you obviously didn't write this with this in mind. You were in a better place.
Not feeling anything.
You were in 2019, like the rest of us, and having a wonderful time. Okay, so then now, so you said it came up to like 14 songs at that time?
We have like, we have tons of songs, like little snippets of songs and like, kind of when we got together, when I came back to Nashville in October 2021, I guess for the first time, we like sat down and went through everything and was like, wow, I think we have like an album here. And then proceeded to write a bunch more songs. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cause I'm like, well, this is boring to keep working on the same thing. I had recorded a decent amount of bass before even then. And then, then you guys got back together. So, okay. So was that in October 2021? Is that when Cicadas got written?
Yeah. Cause I remember I had the beat for Cicadas and we were in like Sam and we were living together at the time.
Yeah.
In our old studio. And I remember just like showing you some beats and you're just like, oh, I like this one. I was like, yeah, this one's sick. Right. Yeah. And then we just kind of wrote the song, I think, then and there, honestly. Besides like my rap verse and stuff, but the hook, all that.
The rap verse took a little finessing a couple times.
I almost put music over the Cicadas rap verse.
I think that's every rap verse you've ever done. You're like, you know what? This is it for me. And then you push out Gold, and we're like, all right, he's still here.
I feel like this is the best one I think you've done. I think this is such a sick rap verse.
Oh, I love it.
Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Dave for that too.
Big shout out to Dave on that. He definitely helped sculpt and make that actually good.
I just like to say that this is the only time on any Stoop Kids podcast that we've shouted out Dave.
Dave's the best.
Paternostro? Now, okay, so Griffin, when you were making that beat, I know you were kind of making a lot of beats at the time, because you're, in your beat workshop. But like, was there anything behind that? You're like, were you channeling anything, any certain artist, any certain songs that you were like, I want to make this kind of thing?
I think the only guiding principle that I've sort of followed with Emily has been just making chill R&B in a certain sense. And chill R&B can be many different things. It can be slightly dancey too, but like I think that's been the only, or at least like something that had like elements of that. And that's sort of just been the through line. Cause I know with Stoop Kids, like we'll just do kind of some wild stuff and we'll do like, I don't know, some psychedelic, I don't know, some fucked up shit. And then with this, I was like, I wanted to just make it a little more focused. I still don't think it's actually terribly focused. I think there's still a lot of like genre bending going on with everything, but I just wanted something that you could just like chill to and like almost like living room music in a certain sense.
Yeah, we talked a lot about like playlisting or like put something on that you wouldn't want to like skip when listening to an album, like something you could just like chill to and listen to over and over again. And I remember we created a playlist on Spotify that we like added to that definitely has changed since that playlist. That was all like her and like
Right.
There's a lot of her.
A lot. Well, a big her face.
And also, I mean, I think we saw a glimpse of that when I would go into the studio and you guys, or he would be working on one of your guys' tracks and then have a sample track, a sample song, like to, compare and stuff. Yeah, it'd be Daniel Caesar, it'd be her, it'd be in that realm. How do you think it's changed since then?
I personally think it's gotten a little more indie and a little more like, especially I thought one song "Lose My Mind" and I don't know.
Like we started tying in a lot more like organic elements, I feel like, and then I think we kind of like found a bit of our own sound in the whole process. I remember when we actually did a ton of work the 2 times that I was back in Nashville during 2021, and it was like, or 2021 and 2022, and it was like we listened to them and they sounded cohesive, and it was like, oh wow, I think we're like doing a thing.
That's always a good feeling.
Like there was an album there,
something.
Yeah,
the album had a dance track. The album had like a heartfelt, slow ballad one. Like I just think there was all of a sudden it kind of came together. That was a moment. Oh shit, we have an album. We need to like, this isn't just us like sending stuff back and forth anymore. This is like a little bit bigger than that now.
Right, because and also Emily, what was the last album you put out? I mean, it's been singles since I've met you, I think, right?
Yeah, I have like 2 5-track EPs that were released in like a series of singles. This is my first full-length album. Griff.
I don't even think I realized that, honestly.
Produced by Griffin, yeah.
Right.
Produced and written with, yeah.
Well, you found just the guy, because Stoop Kids have 3 full-length albums and then an EP on top of that. Actually, 2 EPs. One of them you'll never find, so don't look for it. Now, okay, so let's dig into Cicadas. So now, when you heard the beat, you liked it. You were like, Griffin, I like the cut of your jib, my brother.
Griffin, this is hot fire.
Hot fire. Now when you were listening to it, and obviously this is a little bit ago, but like, do you remember being like, hey, we could go this direction? Like, were you pulling from any resources or anything like that? Like, what did you have in mind, or did you just start letting it fly?
I can't really remember how the concept came together. We definitely wrote the verses before the chorus. The chorus, for a while, I remember we had sort of like a melody feel line that we wanted, but then it was Griffin. I remember Griffin was just like sitting in his chair and he just was like, you're like cicadas in the night. You said something about cicadas and I was like, that's a sweet name. Yeah. And then it kind of tied into what we were writing, but we were just kind of writing about this like fucked up relationship, which like a couple of tracks are about. Just sort of not being able to get somebody out of your head, and just kind of like all the things that come with messy breakup and whatnot.
See, I'm more into music that's about really nice relationships that everybody wins, but to each their own.
Just get
Now,
experience with this first.
So now was the cicadas idea like that? I mean, it was a random thing that Griffin kind of dropped in. Did you play off of that, or did you think it just kind of worked with what you were already had in mind?
It kind of worked. Like we were talking about basically like I can't get you out of my head. You know, like every time I let you out, like I think you just kind of come back around. It's like, why am I still thinking about you? We broke up so long ago, and it's not even in like a longing way. It's just in like a fucking annoying way.
Yeah.
I've been given a timer that says we have 10 minutes left.
So well, the whole thing was supposed to be 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, I don't even know how long it's been going. But you know what? I'm having fun with my two friends. So anyway, okay, so then I don't know if you guys have noticed this because I obviously have been anticipating this single coming out, but also like another single just came out by another people called like Cicadas and something, and then another person put out an album called Cicadas, like Psycada. It's like, is this just like a meme amongst our like world?
The year of the cicada.
Year of the cicada.
Maybe everyone was always in their homes, and so they're just listening to the cicadas outside their houses when they're trying to sleep, and then instead of doing what else they would be doing. And
way to do that research, Sam. You really came prepared.
Yes, research is what I did, not just notice stuff. But okay, so then you guys got it to a pretty good place as far as, you know, it's like you had recorded at least the scratch vocals and everything was pretty much put together. And then I played bass on it. And God damn it, I'll say, well, thank you. Hold your applause.
You play bass?
Sometimes.
Really?
But I'm more of a flautist. But I played bass on that, and actually it's some of my favorite playing that I've ever put down. And I don't often think back on anything I've done, but I was like, honestly, I really liked it. I was digging for Bootsy Collins, kind of just hip little indie funk bass, and like Mac DeMarco kind of stuff. If Mac DeMarco could play bass, but
you nailed it.
I did what I could, and I think it came out well.
I think it's fucking sick.
Yeah, I think it all meshed real well. But then it was like then it was a discussion of, you know, I think Griffin was showing it to the rest of the guys in Stoop Kids, and it was well, that's real good. Maybe that's ours now, you know.
Well, Griff, you were talking with the guys like about a couple different tracks to do a collab on one of them, and right, this was like the standout. Stoop was like, "This is the track we want to do."
Yeah, I was trying to do like some other track or do something like I thought would have made me make more sense, and I think it was probably Joe who's just like, "But this song is just really sick, and so why would we do it?"
Joe was just like, "No."
Right.
And then I think it kind of warmed up to me once we added Tom's sax and pitched up to be like a soprano Kenny G sax. I was like, this is actually sick, and let's, and obviously Sam is so featured on it with the bass that I think it did make a lot of sense, and it is funky and kind of has a little bit of that Stoop Kids vibe. But let me just say, I recorded a lot of Sam bass in my life, and I think this might be my favorite bass track as well.
You heard it here, folks.
It's pretty good.
Even if I took a dump, it's the best smelling dump I've taken. So you're gonna love it.
Really good smelling dump.
I think it was a mixture of not only of just like it being the right vibe and stuff, but I think it's just your production powers and my bass powers have also just been in a very good place. So it all came together, and also Emily's on it. But but yeah, I think we all just agreed that it was, even if it didn't even fit in with anything else we were working on, not that Stoop Kids are working on anything, or maybe we are, but we were just like, this is a no-brainer that this is now ours, and we're not giving Emily credit on it, right?
No, she gets no credit. Yeah,
cool.
I'm a ghostwriter.
Right.
It is funny how the song, like, because you used to sing, Emily sing the first verse, and like there wasn't a rap verse. It used to be so, like we had a whole song where it's pretty much was all Emily, and we kind of rapped a lot of parts, honestly, to sort of like make it the Stoop Kids thing. But it definitely, I think, kept it interesting. And now it's like, I don't know. I like listen to this. Oh wow, I'm singing a lot on this track all of a sudden.
Yeah, it became like a total like duet.
Yeah, duet. Yeah,
exactly. So this whole process with Griffin in writing has been really interesting because we literally have had like 7 iterations of each song. Like we just keep rewriting them. But it's been a really cool way to work because I remember when we got Cicadas mastered and then we started working on other stuff and we're like, well, shit, now everything has to be that dope. So we just went and rewrote a bunch of other stuff. So it's cool. We're kind of doing it track by track, just trying to up our game. Upper game,
bud.
I'm like producing someone else besides the one track we did, but like that I'm producing and mixing and doing all of that. And so Emily's definitely been very gracious, I think, in some of those hiccups along the way to building my confidence up in a certain sense to do it.
Yeah. It's going to be like your calling card as a producer of other things than Stoop Kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Should we talk about the music video?
I was just about to say that. In the time we have left, I wanted to discuss. So the music video, I actually don't know the plans with that. If that's being released the same day or if it's being released.
It'll be released the day before, so you can listen to the track the day before, and then it'll come out on Spotify the next day.
Gotcha.
And
so Emily, you are in a place not known to a lot of Americans, but it's called Canada. Now, it might be known as America's Hat, but you're in Vancouver and you filmed your own part of the music video. Yes or no?
That is correct.
Okay, cool. You're on the spot. And how long ago was that? How long ago did you do that?
Months ago.
Yeah, like I think it was early October, or like even or like late September. Yeah, it was right before. It might have been in October. Yeah, because it was right before I came back out to Nash, I think. But yeah, we basically like talked, Griffin and I, about doing a video, and I was like, I don't know if I want to put like a bunch of like money into this. It's our first single or whatever, and so we kind of tossed around some ideas about what the song feels like. We both came to the consensus that it felt like driving around at night in a sick car. So I borrowed a sick car, and then he borrowed a sick car, and we both wore bomber jackets. And
yeah, that's right. Now Griffin had a stylist on this one. I think you styled yourself, as far as I can tell.
I wish I had a stylist. Griffin looks dope.
Weighted vintage, helping me out.
Yeah, that's right.
I called Olivia like 30 minutes before. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need some type of clothes. Please. They brought over some stuff, and
I love that shirt. I want that shirt.
Yeah, I had a gig with her that night, and she was very excited when she was like looking at the stories of just like, oh my god, he's wearing the shirt. I'm like, yeah, what else was he gonna wear? Like you told him to wear it. But yeah, I mean, you guys were up super late doing your half of the video here in Nashville, from what I could tell, right?
It just kept growing for us, and then we did some shots downtown, like a kind of downtown, but we had planned to come back to Broadway at 4 a.m. To get essentially empty streets with a bunch of like neon lights though type thing. The only way we knew that is that some of us used to work at Daddy's Dogs, and we'd be downtown at 4 a.m. and realize that there's no one out and about then. And so that was pretty wild. Of like, we had a day of shooting, and then got like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then came back down to Broadway and shot in this massive street with a bunch of lights though, and it looks really sick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like,
it looks great.
Yeah, I think Tom, Dave, and I, that's been the crew. Tom was our director of cinematography, and Dave, the director. He's kind of gluing everything together. I think we're like really hyped with the footage that we got from it, and just the vibe in the car. Ben is the guy's name. Shout out Ben for the car.
And you're editing it all together, Griff. Yeah, I appreciate all the time you guys are putting into it. Yeah. We I did like the cover shoot one day that we talked about, and then afterwards was like, should I go back and borrow that car again and then maybe do like a little bit of a video snippet? I don't know if we were just going to do it for like a canvas or whatnot, but now it's turned into this whole video
thing.
The whole thing.
Well, that's so great. So the single comes out 25th,
January 26th.
26th. The video comes out on the 25th. Correct.
You got it.